So today's Japanese slang term is 後方彼氏面. This term refers to fans who stand in the back, against the wall, or up on the second story, third story seats, being cool, calm, collected, and not engaging in the typical practices you associate with being a fan at a live show. So for instance, when this person says that they have received a Kouhou Karashizura specialty otaku ticket, you can assume there's a ticket that is not at the front of the row. That said, there are less enthusiastic uses, like this person here, where it just means that you're in a bad position and don't have good vision even though you want to. And in posts like this one here, or this one here, there's a bit of ambiguity, like, did the people want those seats, or are those just the seats they could afford? In either way though, they are using the term to refer to seats very, very far away. Generally speaking, or at least kind of originally, the people that were using this term did like this position and feel it's a very, very cool way to engage with the person you like, especially if you want to kind of absorb the oshi rather than being surrounded by other screaming fans. That said, I should note that this term does have a bit of bad blood associated with it. Because these people, being they sitting in the nosebleed seats or just in the corner of the live house, not jumping around, not waving fans, etc., are often seen as kind of too cool for school or acting very, very pretentious. As if, for instance, they just understand the idol better than everyone else and therefore have a different attitude. For instance, this term is actually found in a dictionary that is sourced via Weblio, and in their definition, they specifically note that this term is sometimes associated with, quote, people who feel they know the oshi better than everyone else and are too cool to scream and party, resulting in their comment that one way or the other, this term is an insult. Again, my data shows it's quite different. In 2024 at least, a lot of people are using Kouhou Karashizura self-referentially in a way that is positive or kind of neutral, but maybe a bit disappointed rather than using it to insult people. But certainly this history is one that has been recognized and we need to pay attention to. Calling your friend this term then, for instance, might not be very positive. The phrase is very productive though. You can verb it via suru very easily. For instance, this person here refers to them as someone who is doing Kouhou Karashizura, being waved to by an idol. So despite this distance, here's one more example in the verb form here. And as is probably not surprising given that it does appear in some dictionaries, the term has seen use since at least 2010. Google Trends only clocks major interest since 2018, which of course means that interest is going up, not down. But I can find tweets going back to 2014 without any problem, which means that that date or a few years earlier is at minimum the start date. Now as for where this term comes from though, the kouhou part is pretty easy. It just means like the back, right? There's no slang there at all. However, the karashizura part is actually kind of its own term, and this was used to refer to people who act like your boyfriend even though they are not, with the zura there being like face or I guess mask in some situations. So a person who puts on the boyfriend face, but they aren't your boyfriend, making it irritating. This website, for instance, notes that people who do the karashizura are associated with things like saying, I liked your last hairstyle better, softly touching your head or body, or messages online, etc., telling you what they're doing even though you haven't asked. Activities that range from welcome to tolerated to actually not very pleasant, even if so you're dating someone, but are all generally unwelcome from someone that you are not in a relationship with. These people aren't your boyfriend, they just have a boyfriend face, just like by extension, people in the back sitting coolly watching an idol are not the idol's boyfriend, they're just acting as though they know them. Or at least that's the logic that resulted in this term. Interestingly though, we've kind of gone full circle because as Kouhou Karashizura has seen more and more use, it's now left the idol world or the concert world and is just used to refer to people who are standing in the back looking protective as though they are a boyfriend. For instance, this person uses it to refer to the pose of a character in a video game who is standing watchfully in the back with their hands on their hips. This person uses it to describe the vibes of a Lalafell in Final Fantasy with their arms crossed. Indeed, if you attach con to the end of this phrase, you could even say that something gives off the vibe of a not boyfriend who's acting like a boyfriend standing in the back watching over things, as you can see in a post like this one here, or a post like this one here. I'm not gonna say it's common, but it's out there. Interestingly, and indeed as you've seen from examples, a lot of this seems to result from the world of video games, so this might be a video game specific kind of development. But at least for me, it's fascinating to see how he went from use to refer to the actions of not boyfriends, to the actions of people at concerts, to again, the actions of non-boyfriends, but fictional ones this time. Anyway, when all's said and done, I hope that if you are someone that likes to go to idol concerts and just kind of stand quietly in the back, certainly I understand. I hope this video didn't make you self-conscious, but hey, at least if people are talking about you, you will know what the term is that they're using. See you next time.